In 1983, there occurred something so vulgar and horrid that an entire industry was taken down. What was this horrible event? It was the video game market crash of 1983. Boo! The crash was like a monster who preyed on the flesh of the innocent by deceiving them. It made them buy awful games like E.T. and Pac-Man for the Atari 2600. It persuaded several companies to do its bidding and pump out awful games at a rapid rate just to make a quick dime. Even products with licenses ended up being marginally inferior to their source material. One such company that contributed to the video game market crash was Wizard Games. They made horror-themed video games for the Atari 2600 console. Though they made several games, there are a few of them that have become notorious over time, one of which was based off the cult classic film from the 1970s, Halloween.
So today, I'm taking a look at a Halloween-themed video game in celebration of the upcoming holiday. And what better game to look at than a game called Halloween? First of all, though, allow me to give you a brief bit of history about the game. In early 1981, Charles Band started up a company called Wizard Home Video, trying to capitalize on the home video racket. He was already a successful businessman, having produced several B-movies and sex films in the 1970s, and owning Media Home Entertainment. But its business model was not suited for the release of gruesome horror and X-rated flicks that were so close to Band's heart. So like I mentioned earlier, he started another division of home media with Wizard Home Video. By 1983, he decided to get into the home video game market, and Wizard Games was created. Wizard Games would publish gruesome horror games much in the same vein that Wizard Home Video released gruesome horror-themed films on VHS. Wizard Games got the rights to the film Halloween and published a game about it. Most retailers refused to carry the game due to its violent content. Not surprisingly, the company tanked after a few months, and they were left with tons of unsold copies of the game. To liquidate stock and save money, a piece of white tape was put on the cartridge, and Halloween was written on it in orange marker. Now this game is an extreme collector's item. An average sale price of it is $275. Now that the history lesson is over, let's delve into the game itself. When you start the game up, you just get this awful sounding rendition of the theme that plays in the film. Just take a listen to this. Although I guess I should give it a little bit of credit, most Atari 2600 games didn't even have music in them. In this game, you play as Laurie Strode, the babysitter, and your goal is to protect Tommy Doyle, the little boy she babysits in the film. Who are you supposed to protect him from? From the serial killer Michael Myers. One cool thing to note is that the live stock icons are pumpkins. Well, just in case you forgot that you were playing a Halloween game. You play inside of what might be the biggest house in the world as you try to keep the kid from getting captured by Michael Myers. You can switch floors of the house by going into designated doors, and every time you get Billy safe, you get points for it. I guess that is the point of the game, just to get points. There is no way to beat it. You're just supposed to get points. That's how a lot of these old games are. So how do you know if Michael Myers is coming then? Well, the freaking Halloween song starts playing. This gets annoying really fast. And another thing, Michael Myers is really easy to escape. He's really slow, and if he gets close to you, you can just duke him out. Really, there is no excuse to die in this game. Speaking of death, if he catches little Tommy, he slits his throat and throws him on the ground to bleed out. That'd be a great thing for your parents to see if you were a little kid playing this game and they came into the room. As gruesome as Tommy's death is, when Laurie gets caught by Michael Myers, he cuts her head off and she runs around like a chicken. I'll admit, while that is pretty sick, I'd be lying if I didn't find it at least a little bit comedic. Well, that's Halloween, a pretty simplistic game, but I actually thought it was fun. I mean, it's not great, but in terms of Atari 2600 games, it actually plays pretty solidly. For my 2 cents worth, I'd say it's better than a ton of Atari 2600 games I've played. Well, I can see why it failed. No retailer would even shelve a game like this, and to make it even worse, it was released in 1983, the year of the legendary video game market crash, so it fought a bit of an uphill battle. While the game doesn't have much substance, if you are a fan of the film, try it out. It might keep you entertained for 5 to 10 whole minutes. Although I'm done looking at this game, Wizard Games published another game based off of a famous horror movie slasher, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Well, since it is Halloween and I am slightly intrigued to play it, I guess I'll review that one too. Thanks for watching this episode of Game Reviews by James. Have a happy Halloween and check back later for more reviews.